Elden Ring has a lot of weapons, incantations, and sorceries. I've played through the game like 60 times now, and I don't think I've even scratched the surface of what you can use to make the bad guys take an extra long rest. So, let's make every weapon break right after it kills one enemy. Is this going to be a bunch of cheap Breath of the Wild jokes that have been a dead horse for years now? No, just the one. Boy, weapons be breaking. Ooh. Okay, moving on. To watch these runs live, follow me on Twitch. I'm terrible at Elden Ring and play it wrong all the time. Break the subscribe button by clicking on it. More than half of you aren't subscribed. Are you trying to break my heart? Guess it's just one of those days. Face tonight. Give me something great. We're kicking things off as a vagabond. It's got 3 items we can kill stuff with: a sword, a halberd, and a shield. It also starts in heavy load, but we can fix that by just, taking stuff off. We're modeled after Princess Link from the Breath of the Wild game. She's the one Zelda's always saving. If you're a real gamer, you know. Testing something here, we can beat the goats to death with our bare hands. Since our hands can't break, that might be something we want to do if we need arrows. God, I hope I don't have to use a bow. Melina gives us a horse. Right after that, we can grab 2 weapons, the Lordsworn Greatsword and the flail. We died trying to grab the flail. Bummer, come back for that. Grab the wet blade so we can put Ashes of War on weapons that will break. Then save Alexander. It's fine. Ramming him hard in the rear doesn't kill him. He doesn't need to die. Yet. Tried to fist the Bone Man for some death spaghetti, but no, that would take like an hour, so not gonna do it. Instead, we'll get the Physic Flask from the Third Church of America and immediately get better Physic Flasks. The first one just restores 50% health. It's not bad, but you only have 2 things in the Physic. If only you could get a drink that has all the boosts you need in one convenient container. Oh, wait! There is a drink with everything you need in it, because today's video is sponsored by AG1. If you're a busy gamer like me, you might not have the time to make sure you get all the necessary vitamins and minerals in your daily diet. That's where AG1 comes in. Just mix a scoop of powder into a glass of water in the morning, stir it up, and you're getting 75 vitamins, minerals, and food-sourced ingredients to put you on the path to better health. So what do all these vitamins and minerals do? So many things. They help your gut. They help you focus. They put you in a better mood. They relieve your stress. Honestly, I've been drinking this stuff for about a month and I just feel better. There's so many little benefits that all add up to a better quality of life thanks to AG1. And this is better health for just about any dietary restrictions. Gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, keto, paleo, whatever you're doing, AG1 should work with you and help get you feeling better. AG1 is offering a special discount for Tulok and Mango subscribers. Head to the link in the description below to get a free 1-year supply of AG Vitamin D3K2 plus 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase of AG1. Now let's go back to Elden Ring and break a bunch of stuff. Now imagine breaking stuff to fort height. There we'll pick up the bleed arrow recipe for later. I tried to cheese the fortnight with gravity. It doesn't work. Oh well, we still have the Dectus piece. For the other piece of the Dectus medallion, we warp to Grail, but get distracted throwing hands at Ronnie and scooping up the Limgrave pickle for a bit more free money from the Knight's Cavalry. Extra free, since we don't need a weapon if they just fall off the cliff. Gravity doesn't break, but our bones do, because we got bamboozled before becoming the one who bamboozles and fell off first. On the way to the second pickle, we can grab some more breakable weapons. The Twin Blade in the Dragonburnt Ruins, the Great Epi into the Carrion Spellbook. Worth noting how spells work. When we kill an enemy with a spell, both the spell and the casting focus are deleted. Pickle acquired. Then the Great Axe, which is a misnomer. It's fine. The Somberstone 9 and a Rune Arc are under the Divine Tower of Caelid. We fist the Somber Beetle off. Didn't realize that killing beetles would count as killing things, so we either have to find a cliff, slowly fist them, or we don't get beetle stuff. I love the beetles. From the merchant up on the hill, we grab the Spiked Cestus and a Beast Torch to scare away rats. We fist Grail using the Spiked Cestus. Could have done it raw, but it would have taken way longer to finish. The boxing gloves are good, but I'm willing to trade them in for 30-ish levels for free. That's our first dead weapon. In Fort Ferroth, we use the Beast Repellent Torch, and boy, it sure do be repelling beasts. Sorry, Hank McCoy, we're getting through here safe and sound. For the other piece of the Dectus Medallion. For Bernal,
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
killing him will give us all his Ashes of War in the Round Table Hold. Sure, we can't summon him for the Godskin duel, but it's not like that's gonna be a problem later.
Now you f***ed up! Now you f***ed up! Now you f***ed up!
Spinning chain should just kind of push him and chain together with the bleed, but it doesn't. Oh well, he's not that bad. He also drops some really heavy armor and the Devourer Scepter, so we don't lose a weapon, we just trade it. It's an alright weapon. It's a big ass hammer with fire damage. There's definitely places we can use that. Bunch of Lernia stuff now. First we buy an S-stock from the merchant in Lernia. If you remember the prisoner run, you know that's pretty good. We get 2 fingers in a hole, which might help us reach some faith requirements, and with 2 fingers in a hole, it makes sense that we go to the cliff bottom catacombs. That implies the existence of cliff top catacombs, or at the very least, cliff willing to top if they have to catacombs. I forgot to grab the scythe here, but we did grab the page ashes. By the way, spirit ashes also break when they kill an enemy. They're in a fight with multiple enemies and kill multiple, that's fine, but if they kill an enemy and we lose that fight without closing out the boss, that counts. Not like that's going to be a problem later. Anyway, Academy Key. Go through Raya Lucaria for the Marionette Ashes and warp through to the Bellum Highway. Remember, if you can't beat them, bell 'em. Raya Lucaria is fun. We grab all the stones on our way down because we need everything we can to level these up. Then the Crystallion, or should I say the Fistallion. Look, we could use a weapon here, but why waste it? We'll play it at 2 times speed to make this go faster, but after you get a stance break, you can just chain poise break them over and over and over again. I think a first-time gamer could beat the Crystallion with their fist. Damn, this is still pretty slow. Corey, you want to go 5 times speed? That's better. Maybe 10 times? 20 times? Yeah, that's the good stuff. Time to pick some stuff up in Altus. The Golden Order Seal scales with Int and Faith, so that's going to be tricky to use later. The Sealed Tunnel gives us a bell bearing 2 for these standard smithing stones to level stuff up. Nearby there's a Spirit Spring I've never taken. Looks like it just moves you up the hill, nothing special. Down the road a bit, we grab the Navy Hood and the Rat Ashes. Gotta love the rats, but I really want the Great Stars. It's a fantastic weapon. Big hammer, bleed, and heals 1% of your HP every time you hit someone with it. Not actually that much healing, but the rest of it's pretty good. I think we could get a few more weapons though. Gotta have those weapons, right? The Gucci Katana is great. There's also some free Grave Glove Warts in here for the non-unique ashes. In the High Road Cave, we get the Shamshir before realizing we can't get out without either beating a boss or losing our runes. So, remember that shield we started with?
When Captain America throws his mighty shield.
That also gives us the Blue Dancer Talisman for potentially more damage later. Golem dead, and it's not like I'm using a shield against a harder boss. The Ruin-strewn Oedipus has one of my favorite mother trucking weapons in the game, the Serpent God's Curved Sword. It's a curved sword, but also when enemies die, you get a little bit of healing. I'll actually use this one pretty soon. There's another free weapon, kind of. We just gotta learn how to snap our fingers from DJ Khaled. Wait, I thought that was Little John. Anyway, it summons Snoop Dogg, who is then willing to help us fight the Bloodhound Knight. We could use a weapon, but my dad says that's for wussies. Instead, we'll just fist him a bunch and have Blyde actually do the work.
And I helped.
I don't know why I remember a Shake and Bake commercial. There's no way that was airing while I was alive. Now we have the Bloodhound's Fang, a weapon we haven't used on this channel, but it absolutely rips. We're losing it in less than 15 minutes. We're leveling that up with the Gucci Katana. We need both of them for the next boss. On the way there, we get the Sword of St. Trina, which can put enemies to sleep. It's gonna save our buns later, then into the Abandoned Cave, where we can pick up the Serpent Bow, which is the best bow for applying status effects with arcane scaling, and the Venomous Fang, which are a set of claws with innate poison you can turn into super poison, which turns out is actually worse than regular poison. More on that later. For now, it's the Clean Rot Knights. Since there are 2 of them, if we kill one, then drop the weapon, and then lose, that weapon is gone. This has to work first try, or we'll suffer. That's what the page is for. They have fire arrows and are aggressive as shit to distract the Clean Rots while we slash the first one up with the Gucci Katana. Second one gets the Bloodhound Fang, and dang, we really gave her the bad touch. Should I do a Bloodhound Knight run? Let me know if you'd like to see it. I'd appreciate your input. The Clean Rots give us a Golden Scarab for 20% more runes, which we can pair with some pickles for a big boost. We need money to upgrade weapons if we don't want to fight endgame bosses with +0 stuff. First, we need to literally square off against Nerd Juice. Using the Square Off Ash of War on, I don't know, one of the swords, I think it was the Broadsword, I don't remember. It worked. Then I messed up again, fighting Patches with the Lord Sorin Sword and deciding to spare him thinking it would save us a weapon. But that's a fool's move. Killing him drops a spear that's +7 and you get his bell bearing to buy stuff from the Round Table hole. I guess we could get the Volcano Whip by killing Tragoth and trade for the Bullgoat set, but I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of free levels to invest much in endurance. Anyway, we buy the pickles and the Parry and Dagger since, I don't know, he has it. Weapons are weapons, we can't really afford to be picky. Margit's pretty easy, might as well use use it for him. He's sort of the first mandatory boss, and we gave him more HP by summoning Rajir. As far as I know, this is the only fight you can summon Rajir for, so might as well. After he dies, we try to parry. Gotta learn sometime, right? It's fine, but at +0, this is the first fight where we're seeing the damage be a little bit of a problem. Here's the thing about parrying. You have no real reason to do it in Elden Ring. My theory is that after Sekiro, Shadows learned to parry or die twice, the FromSoft team was worried players coming over would be bored if parrying was too good. So now, parrying doesn't give you an instant crit. It takes 3-ish parries, and if you mess up your parry, you still take some damage. But they also wanted shields to be decent, so they introduced guard counters, which lets you deal huge stance pressure with pretty much no skill. Just get your 100% physical shield up, let them hit it, and you get a big stance pressure hit. Meaning probably a stance break and a crit in 3-ish guard counters depending on the size of the weapon you're using. So why parry? It's just an unnecessary risk. Anyway, I died. Second time. I did a little better. There's just kind of no reason to learn how to parry unless you eventually have to fight Malenia with the bandit starting gear, I guess. God, I don't want to do that. That's gonna be miserable. Gostok opens the gate, and I realize that if we go further up the safe path, we have to kill a Wind Knight to move forward. But I want things that are further up the safe path. If we kill Gostok, we lose a weapon.
Unless...
Remember this channel's official stance for gatekeepers. Kick them in the chest. In Elden Ring, of course. Safe Path has everything. Hook claws, a brick hammer, the dress that Godric wore, while running away pretending to be a mom, a French knife with an unpronounceable name, and the Crimson Hood. We make it out and we're ready to take on some Shardbearers. Let's keep this channel's official motto going and kill every gatekeeper we can. In Elden Ring, of course. For Godric, we get Elphael. We could also summon her for an Omen Killer to give us a headshot talisman, or for Godfrey. Godfrey would make us run a bunch of errands, so yeah, no, let's just cash in that favor now. She's like one of the Kokiri from the Zelda games, the badass desert ladies who are all super buffed. You know, the Kokiri. We'll be using the ShamWow. You'll say wow every time you use it. It's just a curved sword. It's fine. Elphael's a silly goose getting grabbed in phase 2. That's the first rule of Elden Ring, and she dies. Hey, now it's canon that she died. We can finish Godric off and didn't have to upgrade a weapon. Pretty good. Our plan for Radagon involves the serpent bow we scooped up earlier, but we need a bunch of arrows, so we'll take on the bell-bearing hunter, and Limgrave should be fine. Oh my god, it's Limgrave! Calm down! Dude straight up doesn't let us breathe. It's brutal. We win. We have to throw the S-stock in the trash, but at least we can buy as many bones as we want now to make as many arrows as we want. Arrows suck. That's why we need a lot of them. Back in the round table hold, Godric is dead, so Rajir gives us Rajir's rapier. It's +8 and comes with a fantastic Ash of War, the Glint Blade Phalanx. Just a lovely free weapon. Downstairs, there's kind of a free weapon, the Cypher Pita. Weightless fist weapon, that's pretty terrible, but can serve some functions. It's not super free since Albrecht is there and won't let us leave without killing him or dying. I decided to die. He doesn't drop a weapon. Next boss is the Red Wolf of Radagon with the Lord Sword and Greatsword. We got to save because we didn't kill Patches. First attempt, it's hard to hit the dog with the sword. Maybe it should be. I think hitting dogs with swords is wrong. Hot take. Second try, we just connect more and get the win, losing our sword since it only drops a memory stone. Bummer. For more runes, we need to hunt birds, and if every time we kill a bird it counts as a weapon, what do we do? I decided we can use bone darts. Each dart is a unique weapon, I guess. I'm gonna try and not use consumables, only use them when we're really desperate. Consumables only is its own challenge that people have already done a lot. It looks pretty terrible. We get 3 feet in 3 minutes of farming. That's so bad. Moongrim falls on the way to Rennala. That's a free shield we can use to beat stuff down later. Then we have to fight Rennala and her kids. We have to hit the kids to make her drop, but if they die, we lose a weapon. The solution...
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry! Larry, you can't just... Oh.
Just slap them. When she drops, we'll use the Serpent God's Curved Sword on her. It's gonna take a few cycles since we didn't level this up at all, but the Curved Sword has a unique benefit. When she loads up the kitty cannon and shoots a child in our mouth while we're riding, the kids die, and we get healed. You don't have to kill them, they just have to die. Good thing Rennala is kind of a bad mom. Phase 2 gives us another unique issue, her Spirit Ashes. Wolves, Bloodhound Knights, Giants, and Dragons. Oh my. If we kill any of them, the weapon breaks, so it's a lot of running around in circles, just strafing, chasing, and slowly smacking up the Queen of the Full Moon. Goes fine, perfect. 10 out of 10. I'm sure all multiple enemy bosses will go just great.
Wrong!
End of stream 1. We're back again in About Time 2, and this time we're firing poo. Radon can be a bit of a pain, especially because we broke Blide over Darwill's head, and I have to slowly make sure we don't accidentally summon him for this fight too. Everyone else is fair game. I guess Tragoth could help us with the Magma Worm or the Tree Sentinel, but I'm sure the Tree Sentinel will go fine. God, how many future fights am I gonna get boned by later? Stick around to find out. Oh, and Alex could help with the Fire Giant, Jaren could help with Sela, and look, this is the best fight to use these people for. I'm sure you've got great great game knowledge. I just don't mention every possibility so these videos aren't 10 hours long. Well, longer videos do better. The real damage against Radagon is poo-poo. It's rot arrows, which don't do as much damage with their rot as the rot spells. They take longer to apply and are just worse overall. There isn't a but coming. They're just worse. But this fight is kinda still the place to use them. After we apply the poo-poo, we try to apply bleed. There's bleed in your poo-poo. Talk to your doctor, by the way. This isn't a foolproof plan. We still can't get hit, and since the rot is worse than the spell version, we have to get 2 poo-poos applied. Takes us 3 tries total, and that's stressful. While we can always imagine farming in Fort Height for more blood arrows, the butterflies we need for the rot arrows are pretty limited in the world. Thank you for your tips, by the way, to farm the blood church and just die over and over again to the sanguine noble. It's not like I've ever mentioned that dying is a metric for these builds, and dying over and over again to just farm some blood rose would be a bad idea. Dorks. Radagon dead with enough poo-poo. Technically, we now have 3 Shardbearers dead, but why not get a 4th? There's another boss on the way there. I think the Reduvia will do well for it. We get it to +4. And we grab Bernala's hat for +3 intelligence if we want it later. Riot can give us an express flight to Volcano Manor, but only after we get her a necklace from the Crabman. Crabs and snakes, natural enemies. On the way, we got another S-Stock from Patches, but this is a lesson in trading. If the Crabman has great balls that you want to grab, and you've got a garbage knife you're not going to use, trade your knife for his sweet, sweet balls. And the necklace. Mostly his balls, though. After grabbing his balls, we can give Raya a pearl necklace, and she takes us to meet her mom. In Volcano Town, we scoop up the Erdtree seal for free, then open up a shortcut to the Godskin Noble for another trade. We're submitting the Reduvia, which I always have to sing like the Activia jingle. Not a sponsor. I don't need Activia. If anything, my poops could stand to be a bit more solid. The Ash of War on this thing bleeds like crazy. It takes 2 shots the first time, then more and more as the Noble's resistances move up. Our positioning is pretty good to hold the rolling Noble behind the altar and the second time behind the columns. Overall, it goes great. We get the Godskin Stitcher as a reward. I think I'd prefer the Reduvia. An Alberneric chases us down the elevator, but since I don't want to use a weapon on him, I just have to fist him until the whole area is covered in a thick white goo. Gross. Speaking of double entendre, we grab our Man Serpent for free, then go through the Fog Door for a bunch of stuff. Dagger Talisman gives you 17% more crit damage, Royal Knight's Resolve for 80% more damage on an Ash of War, Somberstone 7, and a Seedbed Curse. Damn, that's a lot of stuff. I actually remembered the audience pathway grace before we get the Serpent Hunter. Yeah, guess what weapon we're using for Rykard? It's the Serpent Hunter. I guess I didn't give you a lot of time to guess, but it's the Serpent Hunter. It's the only weapon you should use against Rykard unless you're doing some weird challenge run that makes you use something else. Now let's just buy the Blasphemous Blade for later. Lord knows I'm not getting Rykard's rancor.
You're trash, bro.
Next, we cowabunga down Radagon's hole, get the Ghost Bell-bearing one, and the boys, the Great Shield Soldier Ashes. I love them. They're just so dang beefy. We start fisting the Mimic, a fight that we would win without having to use a weapon, but I had a brain blast. What if there was something that is pretty much useless, but would make the fight against the absolute loser Mimic tier a little faster? In the Caleb Catacombs, there's a lot of grave work, but also the Miranda Sprout Ashes, some of the worst Spirit Ashes in the game. They barely move, poop out poison, and that's about it. But that's enough to turn the Mimic tier from a 30-minute hands-on slog to a 9-minute snack break. Yeah, I just sort of let it play out while I went to grab a snack. Still wasn't done when I came back, so I played some Pokemon Go. Let's talk strategy here. First, we get an Execute. It's a 1-star, kind of a bummer. Then a Staraptor, just like out in the wild, fully evolved Pokemon. Pretty cool. Gotta use a Raspberry to boost that catch rate. Great throw on a curveball, but it's another 1-star. Tough catch against the Poplio, it ends up running away. Starters always do. Swablu next, I pop a Pinap Berry for more candies. For some reason, you need 400 to get Altaria. Some folks in chat gave me their friend code, which is great. I can't hit any Pokestops from my work computer. Finally, a Woobat. Great throw, but it's only a 2-star. Damn. Oh, and the Mimic tier died. I guess we can't use the Miranda Ashes again.
That's terrible.
You seem kind of psyched.
No, I'm bummed.
Just push this little ball off the bridge, then head further underground for the Black Wet Blade and the Mimic Ashes. We'll have a great use for the best Spirit Ash in the game later. But for the Glovewort 10, we need to do the Ronnie quest. Might as well get the Jellyfish Shield and the Carrion Knight Sword on the way. They are weapons. We can use them. Carrion Manor has a hotter weapon, or a darker weapon. Por que no los dos? It's the Sword of Night and Flame. But for Loretta, we don't use that. We just use S-Stock 2. 2-stock, S-Stock, stock the Squeakwool, 2S, 2 stock, whichever you like. We can just kind of poke her, we have 40 vigor, trading is okay, and she dies. We don't get a weapon, but we get the Loretta Bow spell and Loretta / Ash of War. Not sure we're using either of those, but that's the end of stream 2. We were actually doing 2 runs during those streams. The other one is up on the Patreon. They get a whole extra video, isn't that nice? Go subscribe for the extra video, or subscribe to support me. That's the reason to join that. Everything else is just a bonus. That's how Patreon's meant to work. Welcome back. Time to talk to Selvis about his real doll collection. We're gonna break all those dolls later, don't you worry. For now, we'll get the quick step Ash of War from the round table hold just to put something on the Venomous Fang for a poison infusion to get the super poison, or deadly poison as it's called. It does more damage per tick, but less damage total since it's way shorter. Shoot. Just found out about that while writing this. Oh well. We're using that on the Draconic Tree Sentinel. I don't want to upgrade a weapon, we'll just take advantage of the percentage-based damage. That's alright, but we still have to hit him. And he hits hard. Avoiding him for the whole time it takes to get the most damage from the poison is a pain. It takes a few tries, and all of those tries take a long time. Basically just turns it into an endurance test, and the dude does not stop shooting fireballs and dropping lightning bolts. Eventually we get the win, lose the Venomous Fang, but are rewarded with the Dragon Great Claw, an absolute garbage weapon. I'm gonna dunk on this really quick. That is the lowest AR scaling of any colossal weapon. You can infuse it to change up the terms of scaling, or the Ash of War. The Ash of War is just Endure. Endure is fine, but how about that lightning cast that the Tree Sentinel can do that just spreads out lightning all around him? It's not a spell option for you as a player. How about just anything unique that isn't just Endure? We'll still use it, but yeah, this one sucks. Let's go to the capital.
This empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams.
Hey, the Weeping Peninsula isn't the capital. I lied to you. What a jerk I am. Turtle Shield's pretty good. We can buy some more stuff from the merchant, then get a sacred tier, faith boosting tier, another sacred tier, the winged scythe, and a third sacred tier. I just noticed how many extra flasks I was chugging in that Tree Sentinel fight, wanted to upgrade them. More birds need to die because we need money. And the Lucrine. I found that on the other mystery Patreon run. Woo! I thought I should pick it up here, since it's just, laying on the ground. Pewtered Avatar 1 with the Beast Torch. Don't think I need that for anything in the future. It does raw fire damage and won't be good for anything else. That gives us the flame boosting tier for 20% more fire damage. More weapons time! The gay old tunnel. We fist the guards down, then get the Cross Naginata, the main weapon for the mystery Patreon run. Woo! And then get the Grace in case I want to come back and fight the Magma Worm for the Moonveil later. It would probably be a good trade. Katanas are pretty great, but most of the builds I have planned out for these weapons aren't going to have a lot of int. One more free weapon, but I'm not sure it's supposed to be. Technically, you're supposed to run through the Jail Cave, not to be confused with the Gale Cave, and fight the Grave Warden Duelist, come out the other side. But if you're a master of platforming like I am, it's a piece of cake to just hop to the end and get the hash slinging slasher. Another trait. Lucrine for the Flame of the Redmanes. I've never used the Lucrine, but I know Flame of the Redmanes does fire damage. That's good for runes. Morncastle doesn't have a lot of runes, but it does have an Edgar, and Edgar has eyes, and the Banished Knight Halberd +8, which is worth the trade of our normal halberd from the starting gear. Also a Stone Sword Key, and a whip. We'll get the Grace in the Castle in case we want to come back for the Grafted Sword later. The whip and the Flame of the Redmanes go to work against the Putrid Avatar, which won't give us a weapon. Is it worth cashing in 2 usable things for nothing? Well, it's not for nothing, it's for a dump truck of runes and 2 great physic tiers, one that raises your damage resistance and one that boosts your stance pressure, which the Flame of the Redmanes desperately needs. Remember when this son of the bitch would break Boss's stances in 3 hits? We use nothing but the flame on this cheeked up bush and it does absolutely nothing. The stance break doesn't come until we run out of magic and have to use the whip as a whip. Whips have more stance pressure now.
Yeah. Well, just a bummer.
Still, no deaths and no smithing stones expended. For Grail, we use the Bastard Sword we bought from the merchant in the Weeping Peninsula. It's not infused, it's not upgraded, it's just a sword.
And that's enough.
Seriously, this is an endgame scaled dragon. We just jump up, hit the head, and repeat. It's not even particularly slow. 4 minutes of fight time, that's decent. Not super fast, but the fact that this is just sword with nothing spicy on it, pretty impressive. It's gonna be the baseline when I eventually do the cast or pass list on the spells. Is your spell better than the sword you can use to just hit things? And you can't write me 4 paragraphs about how to properly use the spell. With the sword, you just have to hit the enemy and not get hit. Grail Dead also gives us nothing, but it's a lot of runes. Kinda wish we saved the Bastard Sword for a higher purpose, honestly. Finally, we go to the capital and take on the archery avatar with a mace. Just a +0 mace from the round table hold, cost 800 runes. Goes fine. Weapons are pretty neat. There's a pretty neat weapon you can get for Godfrey, and it's totally free if you do like a mini skip to get it. Thankfully, I'm pretty good at the skip. Just gotta hop on the gazebo, then across and up the Spear of Grandsax. Eventually. Ooh, almost had it there, and there we go. Bolt of Grandsax. It's got a great Ash of War that's effectively a sniper rifle. Pretty neat. Other cool weapons in the capital. The Cane Sword is right under the West Capital Rampart. It's actually just, like a basic sword, not that cool. Ritual Shield Talisman is pretty great, just lying around, gives us extra defensive full health. Starfist Tuna Fillets are super good, we'll use those later. Hammer in the Fortified Manor for our Hugh cosplay. And the Coded Sword. Is this sword gay? No, but it is coded. Happy Pride Month. Trans rights are humans' rights. Wish the Coded Sword was better. The boys have shields that block all physical damage. They should be pretty great against the Godfrey shade.
That went south so fast!
Okay, guess we're alone now. Hopefully we can just back up and show off the power of the Bolt of Grandsax. Goes great. We just back up, throw a bolt, he gets close, we run away, throw another bolt. It's like if we were a cowardly caster. The only difference is our damage is good. For Morgott, we grabbed the Crabman's balls and summoned Melina the first time. I guess we didn't technically level them up or whatever, but it should be fine. We also have the Margit Shackle from Patches, so we can just make him fall down twice in the first phase. It's not enough. The extra health we give him by summoning Melina makes him stronger. Whoops. Next attempt, we just shackle and get a stance-breaking tier. We can kind of chain him into phase 2 perfectly. But in phase 2, we actually have to fight him, and the weapons are not upgraded, so the fight takes too long. Same thing happens next time, but we have bleed on our balls. Goes a little better, but eventually skipping phase 1 is enough to save some health for phase 2. That's a dead Morgott. We'll trade his boss hole in for the Morgott Curved Sword, something we're definitely going to be using wisely later. But the boss we die most to in the capital isn't Morgott. It's the freaking Leyndell Knight. I don't blame myself. I blame the Coded Sword. I knew it was dookie, I knew we didn't level it up, I still thought we could use it to fight the Shield Man since we have Unblockable Blade, which goes through shields. Sadly, his spear goes through us. A lot. Over and over again. He's super aggressive, and having this sword that is literally the lightest sword in the game doesn't stop that. Eventually we just break it so we can get the Gravel Seal instead, which will boost our lightning spells later.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
By far, Celavis's best toy is the Poop Man, but we need the key from the Poop Man to free himself. Remember, you're the only one who can free your mind. I mean that in like a find a new hobby way, not like a culty way. The Dung Eater is locked up in the sewer. At least he's got plenty to eat, and we can grab a Lost Ash of War on the way out. It'll be useful later. Will the Nomad Ashes be useful? Maybe. I don't know. It's probably better than nothing. Shortcut unlocked for when we have to do Mohg later. Now the Poop Man isn't in the round table hold, but he is by crabs. And allegedly, the crab has Death Blight that can kill the Poop Man. I don't know if that works, but I got crab grabbed. Next attempt, we make the crab grab the Crab Man and get the Sword of Milosh, a super good weapon. Imagine the Bastard Sword with innate bleed and an Ash of War that just makes enemies take more damage. Can't waste that later. We're not even foreshadowing anymore. This is minimum 5 shadowing. Dung Eater isn't in jail till you meet him in the round table hold. Whoops. But if I die to the hands when I come back, guess where my runes are? Right there. Another whoops, we tripped and the Sleepy Time potion fell in the Dung Eater's mouth. Well, we cracked some eggs. Let's make an omelet with poop in it, apparently.
Are you aware that eating poo is actually a satanic ritual?
We can buy his puppet ashes after we buy the jar puppet, then screw up and buy a bunch of stuff from Celavis. Apparently you just need to quit out twice. How intuitive. Because Celavis is the goddamn worst, he doesn't just accept normal money, we need to go get some crypto. The first crypto shard is by the Storm Hill, then on the Weeping Peninsula, one on Agiel Lake, one in the Dragon Barrow, one from a church by Millicent, and one in Lernia East. With those shards, we can buy Mr. Shart himself and the Theralina puppet as well. Pity apparently doesn't have a Spirit Ash I want yet, maybe he will later. We have to get the Finger Blade and give it to Ranni to kill Celavis and Pydia. From what I gather, Celavis is actually a puppet himself to Pydia, and then Pydia's puppets killed him. Not sure why that happens when we give Ranni a knife, but okay. When he dies, we can grab the Sleeping Arrow Dolores puppet from his dead body. Should be pretty fun. Before moving on, there is a very funny thing we can trade Theralina for. She only heals and throws pots, so how does she fight? Well, the Royal Revenant takes a ton of damage from healing spells. Has anyone in the Elden Ring community mentioned that before? I'm sure I'm the first. Anyway, she two-shots this dork. Go back to Bloodborne. We have to retire her, but she's not that great, and we get the Ice Needle, a fantastic weapon that we will not waste later. Hopefully, nothing goes bad soon.
And soon things got worse.
Before we head up the mountain, we need to study the blade, the Crag Blade. Craig Blade is for sure the name of a virgin in Wisconsin who owns $12,000 worth of anime weaponry. Through the 4 Biden lands, which reminds me, our infrastructure is more broken than these weapons, and fixing them has bipartisan support. Mountaintops of the Giants gives us the 3rd bell bearing to tempt us into buying more stones. I'm trying to push this beetle off the cliff, but this bird is on my buns. We get it. I'm pretty good at fist only. Ironically, the seppuku beetle is the only one that won't kill itself. Had to use a dagger. It's fine, daggers aren't great, I'm fine losing it. Ignore Alice, then grab the ancient dragon smithing stone. Better save that for something good. That one isn't foreshadowing. I haven't finished this run at the time of writing this, so I don't know what we spend that on. I hope it's something good. For the fire giant, we're using the Starfist Tuna Fillet. It's a fist weapon, it has bleed, and when you put Crag Blade on it, the damage is unreasonable. The fire giant has so much health, how are we hitting him this hard? He also hits pretty hard though, so, we take an L. But second time, we break the stance fast. In phase 2, accidentally crit the eye. Good for you if you learned how to bait the hands down, but I prefer the thighs. It's a little extra work, but putting in the extra effort will lead to a very satisfying finish. Time for a wall! I want to be as high level as I can be for the Godskin duo because for whatever reason, they scare me. Maybe it's the thing I've been alluding to with this entire script. Let's fight Sewer Mohg instead. I decided to bust out Rangier's Rapier since it's already leveled up a little bit, but god damn, why am I getting hit by every attack? I'm not saying the game is wrong. This isn't me complaining. I was off on my rhythm. I've done Mohg hitless. This is just, terrible. Try again, but without armor. I'm just not gonna get hit and we can do more damage thanks to the blue dancer charm. That also goes poorly. Maybe the Dragon Claw Hammer? No, this thing for sure sucks ass. Getting stance breaks with Glint Blade Phalanx is the way to go. It's just kind of rough. I have another idea, but we gotta sacrifice a weapon. So let's use the Rajier Rapier on Godfrey instead. Just break his stance, back up, and wait for the crits. The damage is looking better, which makes sense. He is a way weaker boss than Sewer Mohg. He drops the Godfrey icon, which will give our charged weapon arts and spells more damage. So when we go back to Mohg, we have the hash slinging slasher, the drill sword, whatever you want to call it. It's upgraded to +4, so it's time for the still not great. Definitely died twice. It's not stance breaking as fast as Glint Blade Phalanx, still moderately fast with the physic tier, and that drill sure does do great damage. We get him got. Maybe later we'll go get the bigger drill sword. Again, I haven't finished the run yet. I don't know if we do. Didn't have much time left in this stream, so I just grabbed the Erdtree Favor +1 and went to do some fast NPC fights. We fight Vike with the Great Epi. It's like a big version of the Rapier. Naturally, we get inflicted with all kinds of madness, but when he dies, we get Vike's spear and his eyes. That means we've killed all the enemies we need to for the Frenzied Flame seal, so it's actually worth 1.25 items in a trade. Then we take on Eleonora with the Godskin Stitcher. It's like the Great Epi, but it's just a lot like the Great Epi. I'm not sure what the difference is. Don't want to look it up. Her pole blade is very cool, but at +0 it takes a while. We still get it without dying. More importantly, we get the Mohg tier, so when we fight the real version, we don't have to get melted in the phase transition. Finally burn down the Erdtree and head into Farum Azula. The Ancient Dragon Prayer Book will give us some of the highest damage incantations in the game for later, or specifically one of them. The Beastman Ashes, I've never tried those. Don't know how good they are. Hopefully good. Haven't used them yet. Some level up materials are in the Incel Rivermane, Noxtella, Phalanx, Demon's Holes. Oh, the Night Maiden Ashes, they're pretty swell. Tried to push this beetle up into the church and down the hill and into the elevator, but there are 2 mimic deers running after us, so it's a lost cause. I died on the way to get some Glovewort 9s, then go home to level up the Dolores Sleeping Arrow Spirit Ash. She has sleep arrows. It's like her whole thing. Then we level up the Sword of Milosh, hugely important and definitely not going to be wasted. Still need more upgrade materials. So, Vari Quest. We use the Great Stars on the Beastman. He also uses the Great Stars, and he's a little better than we are. I just didn't pay attention to my health. Next time, we get the win. We break our Great Stars and replace it with another Great Stars.
That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange.
Now Varin wants us to get some blood. We already have the grace from when we fought Vike, so pull my finger. We're off to Mohg. We get a Somber Stone 10 and never get punished by the frogs. Altus Tunnel for a Somber Stone 5, and we have 2 Crystallions to fight. Fisting 2 at the same time might get things a little hard, so we bust out our Captain America technique. Their AI makes them less aggressive if you don't summon, so one of them just kind of stands there while we goofy smash. Then I drop that shield and get another one out. Riveting. It's funny at least, and perfectly fine multi-enemy boss fight. I don't know why I was so worried about it. I feel like I just keep hinting at some sort of hell that's approaching, but I'm sure everything is gonna be fine.
Little boy, you're going to hell. You said bad words for rocks in the buzz, and now this is your tale.
Yeah, I never liked doing the Godskin duo, but if I designed a challenge with the sole intention of making this fight as miserable as possible, I don't think I could have come up with something worse than this. At this point you might think, Phil, don't you know how many members of the duo you have to kill for the fight to end? No, I guess I don't. So here's the first plan. Use the sword of Trina and the Dolores puppet to put them to sleep. That goes fine, except she just kinda keeps shooting them after they're asleep. Girl, why? We died the first time and didn't even get a kill, but that's good. It's a lot better than the second fight. We kill the Chunky with the sword of Milosh, and then the puppet dies. So now we're alone. And we can't use the sword of Milosh anymore, and these two don't leave me alone. If there is a single boss fight that cements the idea that spirit ashes are the intended way to play this game, beyond, just being in the game, this is that fight. Doing this fight without a second person to help you fight seems unintentionally difficult and unfun. I think the developers of the game wanted the game to be fun. RIP Sword of Milosh, cool weapon. Now it's a cool broken weapon. New plan, the Rot Breath incantation. It's terrible. Not the spell, the plan is terrible. When we sleepy sword them, they line up in a line, which you'd think is good if you're trying to rot them. We rotted the Chunky, even though Skinny was closer. Does it have better rot resistance? Weird. Have to rebreathe him. Thankfully enough, the rot does keep them awake to chase us down and murder us before one of them dies, so we didn't waste the seal. Next round goes really bad. For some reason, Chunky woke up. I thought it was because of the rot, but later, it stays rotted and keeps sleeping. Don't really know what's happening. We swapped the frozen needle and used it to kill the Skinny, so that's gonna break when we lose. Then I bled the Chunky to death with the pole blade while it was asleep. Why wouldn't I use a different weapon while it was asleep to bleed it?
'Cause you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Skinny comes in and I panic, pull out the Morgott's curved sword, which I was planning to use for another boss later. I guess that means it's good Skinny kills us. That way we only lose the Ice Needle, the Pole Blade, the Rot Breath, and the Casting Seal. Yeah, that's better. New plan, make a mimic that can heal itself and cast spells to do damage. We bring the Lord's Heal to the Turtle Pope, but don't have enough runes for Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike yet. We level up the Erdtree Seal next, get the Arsenal Charm +2 for heavier equipment, then respec with the Moon Mommy for maximum faith and maximum mimic power. The Radagon icon will let it cast faster, and we sell shit and grab the Newman rune at the Divine Tower of Caelid, as well as some spare change from the Mohg Swamp for a truly maxed out mimic. We go in with the Mimic, carrying Bloodflame Talons and Lord's Heal. I know Bloodflame Talons is kind of an ass spell, but it's one we have and it has bleed. So I thought it was gonna work, but the duo just don't let the Mimic cast. Try it, quit out. Try again, it sucks. Quit out again. Maybe Blessings of the Erdtree will give it enough survivability, but no, still sucks. Quit out before it can kill something or before it dies. We just need more damage, and I have another idea. The Black Knife Assassin in Altus can be cheesed against the wall with the weapon art of the Cypher Pata, until you run out of magic and have to just fight it normal. The trade is worth it, because the Cypher Pata is trash, but it's good enough for this and gives us the Black Knife. Fantastic little dagger with a weapon art that takes away total percentage of HP. We gotta level it up, so we car wash the turtle in the Weeping Peninsula. I always think of Shark Tail whenever I drop these. Get the Radagon rune and cash it in for money. Go back in, it still sucks. We didn't kill any of them, so we don't lose anything and just quit out. Let's do something else. To do something else, we need runes. So I hop on the turtle in Lernia and duplicate Radagon again, then respec to an arcane build for some bleed claws. It's Mohg time. I decided to bring the marionettes and level them up a little bit. I figured they'd shoot him a lot and keep stance pressure up. Maybe get him a little confused. It works. He's bleeding a bunch and doesn't take the marionettes out till phase 2. That makes the rest of the phase a little more stressful, but it's not too bad. We finish him off for a ton of runes and a remembrance. This is all remembrances, after all. I committed to that. There's another Spirit Ash I want to save for a later boss, but I'm desperate. We get the Ghost Glovewort 10 from the ballroom, then warp out. It's time to unleash the Poop Man. First attempt I died, but we didn't kill anyone. I was so right though. Second time he kills the Skinny, we kill the Chunky with the Black Knife, and now we have nothing. I guess we've got the Storm Axe, but it's not upgraded, and Chunky summons another Skinny, so we just have to run. Tried to get them back to sleep, but that didn't work. We died and lost the maxed out Dung Eater and the Black Knife. Okay, let's get Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike and level up the Gravel Seal. Not for us, for the Mimic. If the Mimic uses it, we didn't. We just used the Mimic. So the Mimic will break, but the weapons don't. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I'm giving myself a little slack here because this is really bad. We need money. Let's take a +0 sword to Borealis with bleed, I guess. Maybe swords are just good, maybe dragons are just easy, but this goes fine. Lots of runes, lost a sword, whatever. I'll just fucking box the Godric Knight kryptonites for weapons if I have to. Okay, big ass lightning spell. How does the Mimic do? Bad. It doesn't have enough time to cast. Doesn't matter if you have a nuke if nobody lets you launch it. We try it, quit it, try it, quit, and so on and over again. No deaths on either side. We just distract them better to let the Mimic get their groove on. Oh, and actually, we just waste time. I fought the Knight's Cavalry with a battle axe. It's easy. Just kill the horse, then get the crit on the ground. Hey, shouldn't the horse count as an enemy? Yeah, I just fucked up. But it's okay, because I will be immediately punished for my hubris. Ice Spear Ash of War. We throw it on a spear, and it's awesome against the Godskins. We kill a Chunky and quit out because the Mimic is about to die. Wait, why did I quit out? Who cares if the Mimic dies? Yeah, so I basically just threw away the Ice Spear, the axe we used to get it, and the spear we put on it for no reason. That feels karmically sound considering we killed an enemy without breaking the weapon. That's my punishment. I tried to avoid consumables, but we're in desperate times. We go on a little mini quest to get a bunch of pots, then go in with the sleep pots. Mimic apparently doesn't attack the enemies when they're asleep. I guess that's nice. Horrible, but nice. Then I kill a Chunky, so this has to be it. We used a cane sword on the Skinny and the Mimic dies. We're alone. Tried to use the Morning Star on the Chunky when it was asleep, and yep, we died. That one hurt. RIP to the maxed out Mimic. Maybe we'll try the Winged Scythe, since it has bleed, but they kept falling asleep next to each other, and the weapon is big, so it hits everyone. It's pretty bad. We just need to reset and get better weapons. We're gonna trade the basic hammer for the Antspur Rapier by fighting Mally, whatever the hell his name is. Oh sweet, there's a golem nearby. It can just kill him and save us the hammer, right?
I didn't see if that hit you. Nope, it doesn't. You are immune to that. Okay.
Good lord! He is surrounded by golem fire and not taking a single point of damage. So cool. Fine, he dies, and so does our hammer, but now we have the Antspur Rapier. Wild Strikes will help. We get a Lost Ash of War from the Ruin-strewn Oedipus and get 2 of them now. Time to respec again, this time for a quality build. Mix a dex and strength with enough mind to summon Titchy. Apparently I've been saying Titchy wrong, so we'll go get Black Niffy Titchy later. Don't worry. For now, I just want to bang my head into another brick wall, vroom vroom through the lake of rot, and grab the Scorpion Stinger, another rotten weapon. Astel is another brick wall of choice. We'll use it as an excuse to break the Dragon Claw because the Dragon Claw sucks. The damage is bad, it's at +0, but it's workable. As long as the hitboxes aren't, total garbage. Let's frame by frame this grab. At this frame, we're rolling next to Astel's tummy. Next frame, where did I go? Where am I? Well, 5 frames later, we see that Astel's teleport nothing personnel grab just got to grab us from his tummy, I suppose. That's not what kills us, but we die later anyway. This sucks. Round 2 goes better. It really is just a matter of practicing the fight and getting the movement down. But we still got hit with the teleport grab. Astel doesn't teleport. I mean, yeah, he teleports, but more accurately, we teleport into its hands. Honestly, don't know how we won the 3rd time. We break it down a lot, but also get grabbed. Even the front grab, then the teleport grab, then the teleport grab again, and one more front grab. But yeah, somehow we win that one. That's another remembrance, but we're still not closer to beating the Godskin duo. For that, we need to do lots of stuff. For those unfamiliar, the old woman who swallowed a fly is an old nursery rhyme. Like the best nursery rhymes, it's about a woman who eats so many animals she dies. First a fly, then a spider, then a bird, then so on. Basically, she needs to do one thing to do another, and it ends with her dying as she swallows a horse or something. I don't know, I'm not reading all that. So for the Godskins, we need runes to level weapons, and weapons to get the runes to level those weapons. So first, a different duo. The Erdtree Avatar duo on the Mountaintops of the Giants. Unlike other duo fights, these two only have 1 health bar, but the other one doesn't show up till you kill the first one. I'm using the big axe and some fire grease. We only had 2, so we better win the first time. We haven't upgraded this axe, so the damage is bad, and I'll be real, never really did this fight without completely steamrolling it. It kinda sucks. One Erdtree Avatar is super easy to roll around, survive, and not die, but this is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. Got close, then Elden Stars Junior. Next attempt, we used the Devourer Scepter from our boy boy Bernie. Why did we kill him again? Gotta pop the Faith Tear and the Two Fingers Talisman to get enough faith, and yeah, it doesn't work. So I just quit out and bust out a third strategy, the Scorpion Stinger. Pro tip, don't use charged attacks if you're just trying to apply status effects. Just attack fast. We died. That's bad. Okay, this run works great. While those two dorks share a health bar, they can be rotted independently, which means the 17-ish total HP becomes 34%, so we definitely don't have to poke them as much. It's working great, but remember how I haven't done long versions of this fight? Yeah, I also haven't been pushed this far back before, and whoopsie doopsie, I fell down. It works the next time. We get a bunch of runes we can use to level up some weapons, but not enough. I want like 6 weapons at plus 18 so we don't die again. Castle's Hole next with the Mikola Lilies in hand. It's a secret tool that should help us with the Nile fight. On the way up, we grab the Eclipse Shotel, one of the worst weapons in the game. It has Death Blight, something that only works on you, and not even on Gideon Ofnir. It's what Dr. Worm uses on you. It works on nothing, you just can't use it. It's still a sword, but it's a sword that requires 30 faith. Absolute trash weapon. Nile time, those lilies make his soldiers attack him. Sorry dude, guess you should take better care of them. We're rocking a scimitar plus 12, which isn't like, great. And if Nile kills us, we can't use the lilies again, because they got those 2 soldiers killed. It's fine, just gotta back up and get the spacing right. It's kinda hard though, since he's got the Frostbite Tornado that just kinda funks you up. It's too big, you gotta make it smaller. And yeah, we died. So this is where the fly comes in. Since we now have Nile and his 2 asshole knights to kill, but the knights can't fight themselves, each of them requires a weapon. Or do they? What if we just started casting a spell and by the time it was done, all 3 of them were dead? Not my fault if it breaks, killing all 3 of them, right? So now we're gonna go swallow a spider. The Meteorite Staff is a staff. It's already maxed out, but it's not like as good as some other staffs, if you did max them out. If you're doing a run where you don't want to upgrade shit though, yeah, this is a pretty good one. Up Mount Gelmir, we bait a bear to hit a statue for some extra Smithing Stone 6s and get Comet Azure. Yeah, we're gonna Azure them. But for that, we need to respec again by going underground and crushing some balls with a shield. It's a shield, we're not using it for anything else. And I'm impatient, so we immediately respec.
Whoopsie daisy!
We had something else we needed, the Infinite Magic Tier. And for that, we have to swallow a rat, or fight the ulcerated tree spirit. Haven't been picking up a lot of intelligence-based weapons since I was kind of planning on keeping things in the Faith Arcane arena, so, carry a Knight Sword, I guess, at plus 0, which makes this Twisty Worm fight really slow. It's just kind of slogging, so I'll skip to the end, where I died. And then skip the whole fight to where the tree spirit died, and we deleted the Carrion Knight Sword. Now we need a cat to chase the rat to go into the Terra Magica cave. It's 2 more enemies, which means 2 more weapons, or does it? For the Spear Crystallion, we use the Carrion Knight Shield, and it just kind of takes it. I start fisting the other one, but it's gonna take a while. Thankfully, we have something useless, the Eclipse Shotel. We don't have the stats to properly use it, but it's still better than punching. They're dead, and we get Terra Magica. Now we need a dog to chase the cat, and that means the magic boosting physic tier. We have to poke an Erdtree avatar with the rapier, but after a long time, we just get locked on the geometry and hit by the first hit of Elden Stars, so all the stars just junior us to death in a fun little combo. Who cares that it's Lernia? It can still just kill you. Second try, we get it. Bye-bye Rapier, Hello Lightning, Holy, and most importantly, magic boosting physic tier. So put all of that together, and Nile is just gonna be one shot along with his goons. Oh god, we just got the goons. No pressure or anything, but if we can't finish Nile off with the scimitar, I think we might just be boned. We're losing Azure and the staff either way, but I don't think I've mentioned the psychological element of fights like this. In every multi-enemy boss fight, my heart is beating out of my chest. I work out like 10 hours a week, and this is the most intense I feel my heart beating. It could go wrong, and go wrong in a way that screws up around 14 hours of work so far. This time we eke out a win. That's part 1 of the Haligtree Medallion. The other one is being held by Albus, and you can talk to him and he'll just drop it, but it's faster to hit him. He only has 1 HP. Whoops. I guess I've always just hit him with weapons that are leveled up for endgame. So I tried to push him off a cliff, but the perfumer ends up taking care of it.
I just wanted to say thanks.
Also, the ivory sickle is here, a weapon I didn't have in my notes, so how about a little treat? Let's go kill Gilka with it. It's so weird to actually fight Gilka. There are so many bosses I'm used to just rolling over. It's kind of nice to slow down and see that they only have like 4 moves. Neat. Oh, but we do need to respec again. And hey, look, it's a larval tier in the Alberneric village. I'm sure we won't run out of these soon. Quality build this time with a 20 faith, 11 arcane, and 14 intelligence. This is a terrible idea and we're going to change it again. Woohoo! Hidden path to the Haligtree. The mimic tier copies our weird build without weapons. And again, we could win by punching, but this is already taking so long. We delayed the video by a week. So try the rats. Too slow. The man serpent. Too slow. The Stormhawk axe? Wait, this fucking slaps. Way too good for this fight. Okay, Highland axe. Yeah, that's about right. I'm not making a roar build later, so we'll use this on the mimic for the Black Flame Monk Spirit Ash. Took those runes to level up the Greatsword. That's going to be my Maliketh weapon of choice, by the way, if we ever get there. Then we grab the Flowing Curved Sword on the way to the Putrid Avatar. For the Putrid Avatar, we're using the Veteran's Prosthesis. +0, it's slow. Hey look, 7 minutes just flew by and it died. No weapon, just a dump truck of runes. Back to the duo. I discovered something helpful though, the chest at Grace's. You can store your items in there. That way when we hot swap, we don't have to scroll through everything. Someone in the chat was surprised I hadn't known about that before, but like, why would I? Why would you need this? There isn't an inventory limit like there is in Demon's Holes. This run is the only place it would make any sense to use this. Good for you if you did, I guess, but like, why? Anyway, we get our sleep on, then kill Chunky with Great Stars. Maybe my favorite weapon in the game. Activate Seppuku on the Ant Spur Rapier, which has a poison infusion, to hit Skinny with Rot, Bleed, and Poison at the same time. It works great. Then I sleep Chunky as he comes in and use the Bleeding Twin Blade. It has a ton of hits, so it should get the bleed to pop and kill. Oh no. Nope. He summons, and we can't get them to sleep again, so we lost the Great Stars and the Ant Spur Rapier. I'm glad we ate all those goddamn bugs. Let's go get the Vari White Mask for a damage boost and bleed, and oh wait, he's gone because we killed Mohg. Esker has 2 dogs, meaning if we want to kill him, we risk losing weapons or need to just flat out lose 3 weapons. Maybe later I'll buff up a big Spirit Ash to solo all 3 of them, but right now, seems like kind of a bad idea. I don't want to use something like Amon just for Esker, so Clean Rot Knight for the combo talisman. I used the Stormhawk axe, RIP, it was pretty cool to use you for a second. We also need to respec to focus on Arcane. There's another larval tier in the Saoirse and Riverwell, and the guy who sells it also has a Shotel. I'll grab that. Finally, we grab the Torch of Saint Trina, then respec to be an Arcane build and activate Godric's Great Rune. Throwing everything at these 2, resources be damned. Let's try out this torch and immediately die and lose a rune arc. So this torch sucks. The sleep effect only works on the floor, but if you lock onto enemies, you spray it in the air and it doesn't go on the floor. Well, that's easy, just don't lock on, you dummy. Why would you need to see 2 of the most aggressive enemies in the game? Just to dodge them? Coward. Problem 2, the enemies have to stand in the fire to get sleepy, and they just don't. They really kind of walk through it on their way to kill you, because they want to kill you. And you can't stand in the fire to bait them into the fire, because if you stand still, they're sending out 2 disjointed hitboxes, so one will probably hit you after you dodge the first one. The torch sucks. It's terrible. It's just so bad. Eventually, we get them to sleep and can use the Morning Star on the Skinny. Then the Twin Blade gets the kill on Chunky, and we switch to the Flail on the next Skinny. The Flail sucks. It's really slow. It doesn't have a lot of base damage, so Skinny gets to summon. Now there are 2 of them, and the torch sucks. We get the Chunky to sleep. I don't think we can get the Skinny to sleep, so I just try to use the Flail. We choked. Honestly, I think the sleep strat's done. As nice as it might seem to put them on the floor for free hits, they end up taking a bunch of hits we don't need to, trying to make it work. There are a few bosses I can fight that aren't multiple enemies. Let's just go try those. Ordina goes fine. We can just kick the archers off the roof so they leave us alone, then light the torches without getting grabbed. Haligtree is a little rougher, but not too bad. We just get nuked by a Crystallion after the second grace. Swag jump, activate the shortcut, and now we can fight Loretta. For Loretta, we're using the Cane Sword. We put bleed on it. It's at +12, but it's a glorified bleed stick. And since the damage is bad, we have a lot of opportunities to get hit. Oh, also because Loretta is super aggressive. She kills us twice, but the 3rd try, she loves going for her super slash combo. It looks intimidating, but it's actually super easy to dodge. Kind of like Godric's big jump. Just stay in close and circle strafer. Getting enough bleeds off, and that's a win, baby. The next boss without multiple enemies is Malenia.
Well, We're boned.
And I think the lady swallows a horse to catch the dog? Not sure. Google old lady swallows horse on your work computer if you want the specifics. We're getting the Giza wheel by fighting Giza in Volcano Manor. The flowing sword ain't working. Hey, it's at +0. The ripple blade goes a little better thanks to wild strikes, though some of Giza's attacks poise through and we die. Twice. Third try we get those strikes wilding and obtain the pizza cutter. Mamma mia. Here we go again, through Elphael. It's kind of a mess, but there's pickups and deaths. Finlay Spirit Ashes, dead. Rotten Crystal Sword, and dead. Just another death for nothing. And we made it through the Waterfall, grab the Dragon Crest Great Shield, and die, and then get hit with Elden Stars Jr. climbing a ladder. I don't even know where that ladder goes at this point. I was just hoping to find some more weapons in Spirit Ashes. Now, I've seen the Pizza Cutter Cheese Malenia, but that was a year ago. Did they patch it? Yup, they patched it. Oh well, I guess I'll pack this chainsaw and skin someone else's ass raw. Ugh, I think I gotta just go try the Godskins again. After a little detour to upgrade a Spirit Ash, the next plan will probably fail. Use the Beastman Ashes and try and fight the Godskins straight up with some weapons. Maybe the sleep didn't work because sleep doesn't have the best ways to pop other than the consumable way, which we kind of burned through. Windhand Catacombs, get all those Gloveworts on the way down and the Lightning Scorpion Charm for later. We get locked in by imps and can't hit them without breaking something, so that's another death. Gelmir Hero's Grave has Grave Gloveworts 6 and 7, and there's more at the bottom if you ride down the chariot. I guess we could try and fight the Red Wolf with the Frenchie Knife. If we win, we get the Bloodhound Knight Ashes. They're pretty good. But if we lose, we keep the Frenchie Knife, which is also pretty good. I'll leave it up to fate. And fate decides that we don't get a crit. That's pretty much our win condition since this knife has super crit damage. Oh well. Next street. Red Main Castle has some stuff we can use to get some stuff and some stuff to use to get some stuff to use. The Red Hot Kickblade lets us make weapons flame or fire art. We'll be using that to get a hot weapon against a cool customer. I found this beetle and pushed it off a cliff and got the Flame Strike Ash of War, so guess we didn't need the wet blade. Also, didn't need this bottomless pit. What does Radagon need the bottomless pit for? One more thing, some people like Five Guys, some people like In-N-Out. I'm more of a flam burger kind of guy. Actually, my burger. It's a local Minnesota chain. It's really good. Really meaty burger flavor and a buttery crisp toasted bun. The flam burger is part of a new strategy. A big ass weapon for a big ass strategy. Sleep's not working. We were taking too many hits trying to make the jank work so we wouldn't take hits. It's protecting yourself from a car accident by crashing your car so you can't drive. So, let's take this light weapon, the Flowing Curve Sword, and trade it in for something dummy thick. Remember that putrid avatar that nuked us on the ladder a few minutes ago? Well, we can take his big ass hammer, the Putrid Staff. I fought plenty of putrid avatars, but the geography of this fight changes how it works. Flying Dragon Grail is a boss you fight a lot, a big dragon. Putting it on a narrow bridge takes away one of the hardest parts of a dragon fight, how much they fly around and how hard it is to chase them down. Putting a putrid avatar on the bridge limits how far you can run away from things like the Poo-Poo and the Elden Stars Jr. We died the first time, but that's because I didn't realize how hot the Flaming Strike is. Second try, we burn it up. Kinda doesn't matter that we haven't upgraded this sword. Well, kinda. It's still a bit slow. Flame Strike spits some fire out, then if you follow with a charged attack, the sword gets coated in extra spicy. Dead Avatar, and now we have a really big heavy hammer with rot. It does just have the regular Urge Tree Avatar butt slam as the Ash of War, which I think is bullshit, but it's still a big heavy hammer with rot. You know what else would be great? Another big heavy hammer with rot. There's a Rotten Grave Ward and Duelist. Oh god, they found a way to make him cooler! The flail let us down the last time we used it against the Godskin Apostle, but it shines here, breaking the stance and bleeding fast enough so we can break it down and get the Rotten Battle Hammer for our trouble. We're kind of out of weapons we can use since we made ourselves too arcane, so we need to respec again. Gotta crush some balls for that, we'll use the Red Hawk Shield, but oh no, there are two Nox sisters chasing us while we try to crush these balls. But the balls can hit the sisters. That's pretty interesting. Then just get it stuck between the columns and we've got another larval tier. Don't worry, I worked out what weapons we'll be using before the stream. This is definitely the last time we respec.
I don't believe you.
Our next weapon is held by an Omen Killer in Volcano Manor, but goddamn, every time this dude shows up, it's a Capra Demon homage. Hey, FromSoft, stop doing Capra Demon homages. Everyone hated the Capra Demon. The fact that they're surrounded by dogs and zombies means they might take a stray hit and break our weapon. Oh, and none of them can hit the Omen Killer or be hit by the Omen Killer. We can't even bait them into clearing out their friends. I'm just running away and I got grabbed. Wait. Actually, friends don't grab you. Friends hug you. And this abductor virgin is my friend. Because it can hit the Omen Killer, and it takes it out for us. Which means we also save a weapon. This isn't an abductor virgin, this is an abductor Chad.
You're my special friend.
Abductor Chad Spirit Ashes in the DLC, please. No funny story for the Zweihander. We just bought it from a guy. Leveling up all these weapons is going to take a lot of runes, so let's swallow a bird. Oh, it's a bird that chases the spider, then a cat to chase the bird. I fudged that up earlier, sorry. The McKellen Night Sword is up the ladder we got nuked on earlier, then we gotta take out a turtle to chase the bird. God damn it. It squished me. With Mortar Shell Turtle downed, we can head for the Deathrite Bird. It's very weak to Holy, but we still got the sword up to +5 just in case. Sacred Blade shoots a laser forward, and the headshot damage is huge. The bird's damage is also huge, and it won't stop jumping around. Big explosion comes out, we gotta book it away. Honestly, all its AoEs are making it so annoying. Maybe sniping is just a better option. It is. Sacred Blade is the best holy spell. It's basically Disc of Light and Golden Order Blade put together. Spells are so bad compared to Ashes of War. A few more headshots and we're done.
Sniping's a good job, mate.
That's enough runes to level up everything we have, except our Spirit Ash. For that, we dip into the giant conquering hero's grave. It's a lot of great things, like this fire column that kills a monk for us. If we really need to, this could be a way to farm weapons, because they can drop their mace. This one didn't. Fire giant sealed and a grave glove ward 10, but we got killed and there are more weeds down there. The elevator is down though, and we can't kick this dude in the shaft. The elevator shaft, I mean. So we die. Then we get down there, grab everything we need to upgrade the Beastmen ashes, maybe something else, who knows, and we're ready. It's time to see how this ends. However it ends. Godskins, no sleep, just violence. The Beastmen are great at violence. There's 2 of them. That's why we go for Chunky. Its grounded AoE Black Flame attack could melt them. The Skinny doesn't get a big AoE of Black Flame until it hits phase 2. We're using the giant Rotten Staff and breaking the stance virtually instantly, as well as getting rot. That also immobilizes the Godskins, so yeah, I think this is a way better strategy than Sleep, which was super inconsistent. When it goes into phase 2, we get close to the belly to bait the jump instead of the rollout. This is a little pro tip I've figured out. If you go close to the belly in phase 2, he jumps. The beasts die, but Skinny is still alive. Maybe I should reset, but no, we're in this. Win, lose, or draw. So slam the Chunky, get rid of the Rotten Staff, and swap in the Flamburger. Skinny was already close to death, so the Bleed Pop kills it pretty much right away. Zweihander on the next Chunky, our big sword swings can't stop the summon, do get a stance break right after, and crit, so we don't have to do much of a 2-on-1 fight. I actually don't know what Skinny was up to while we were finishing this, but the Zweihander sure does finish it. Zweihander, of course, being German for big fucking sword. Omen Cleaver for the last Skinny as it goes to summon.
You triggered my trap card!
That's the last hit we needed, and we didn't even have to use the Rotten Hammer. But quick memoriam to the weapons we lost. The Omen Killer Cleaver, the Zweihander, the Flamberg, Rotten Staff, Beastmen of Farum Azula, the Morning Star, the Twin Blade, great stars, Ant Spur Rapier, the Mimic Tear, the Finger Seal, Rock Breath, the Sword of Milosh, and the Dung Eater. Don't ever forget their sacrifice. Oh, also we're 18 hours in now, making this the longest run we've ever had, and we're still in Farum Azula. Whoops. Level everything up, get Alex into Farum Azula, and swing our big hammer against him. It takes a little longer since we didn't level up the brick hammer, but we still win for the Alexander Jar Shard. It's not a weapon, but it's 15% more damage from weapon arts. Very good. Nearby there's a beetle with the Golden Lightning Fortification, which could make Placidusax easier, but this beetle is like the Seppuku one. It loves rolling shit around too much and won't jump off to its death. Bummer. We didn't get the spell, we jump instead. If we need to, we can come back and trade for this with a weapon, but we won't. Skip Wii U Sentinel, and now it's time to introduce Maliketh to my friend, Dean Blade.
Call me Craig.
Okay, Crag Blade. On the Greatsword. The Greatsword already hits like a dump truck. It's not even a Greatsword, it's a Colossal Sword, and they call it a Greatsword. But Crag Blade adds 15% more damage and 10% more stance damage for 60 seconds. See how well this phase 1 goes? That's the power of Craig. Phase 2 would go well, but we messed up and he backflips. It just fudges up my rhythm so much when he doesn't jump forward with the AoE. We get hit by everything and get so close to dying, but chug it back up. We do catch a backflip with a charged attack, then get hit by the blade beams, and get another charged attack after the AoE. Another hit for us, 2 more hits for him, we squeak it out. Not clean, but good enough for a first try win. For Gideon Ofnir, I'm using the Vike War Spear. It has Frenzy, which Gideon is weak to. It also has a sick-ass Ash of War, where you jump in the air, make a huge symbol of flaming frenzy on the ground that ticks away with little hits of fire for the enemies standing in it. Absolutely goated Ash of War. As in, it's stupid, Loud and terrible, but it looks neat, like a goat. When you come down, you are way too vulnerable to attacks, and Gideon can two-shot us with some comets. I was stubborn though, so...
Again.
Let's do something else. We get the Frenzied Burst spell with the Cestus, then use the Giant Seal we grabbed. Didn't upgrade it, we're just letting it rip. Honestly, it's good enough, we just didn't have enough Pepsi. With enough blue juice, it works, even if he hides sometimes. Gideon down. Now Craig is back, and about time too, and this time, he's a rotten dude. For Godfrey, we're using the Rotten Hammer. We didn't have to use against the Godskins, and adding some Craig power. We stance break him in mid-air with a jump attack. That is very satisfying. And he gets rotted, so while we get slammed by the first shockwave, his HP is just ticking away. Unfortunately, we get a second stance break in phase 1, which means we can't start phase 2 with one. I love starting phase 2 with one, so instead of a crit, I just wait for him to stand up, get a charged R2 off for maximum pressure. We got hit by the earthquake, but have enough armor and HP to live it, and critically hit him into the shockwaves. He's pissed off, but he's also rotted, so when we get grabbed, that's a tactical move. He's taking rot damage during the slow grab animation. I'm a genius, this was definitely intentional.
Sure, Jan.
One more bonk after he missed the Big Daddy Grabby. RIP to Godfrey, and even more RIP to the Rotten Battle Hammer. That thing is sick. Oh, forgot to mention this. In the Giant Conquering Heroes grave, I spent a Stone Sword key to get the Candlestick Hammer. Never used it before. What's it look like?
Okay. Ash of War does what?
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna use a casting seal for the Elden Beast, but I think we know. Daddy likes the Ash of War. Radagon gets blasphemous bladed though, and he gets it really goddamn hard. Black Flame Monk Amon is taking the aggro, but we're taking the life. Taker's Flames doesn't need to heal you 30% of your HP to be good every time it hits. The fact that it does though, is pretty nice. Radagon does a big jump slam, that means we can get off 2 charged attacks and get rewarded with a crit. Hammer Slamer's pointed at us for the first 2 hits, then he changes his mind and sends it for the Black Flame Monk, so we can just Taker's Flame again, get 1 more hit after he dives. Time to use the Candlestick. I love this thing.
You like bomb, I like bomb. Enough small bomb, let's bomb the bomb.
Is it even good though? Kind of. The damage is nice, but considering it's a mini meteor shower, I just thought the stance damage would be a meteor. We're booming the whole fight, dropping rocks on the Elden Beast's big old body, and at no point do any of those rocks open it up for a crit. I think I could have done better using it as a colossal weapon, swinging big R2s, then using the Ash of War when it was down, but like, come on, look at this Ash of War.
I'm the bomb king.
God is dead, and boom, killed it. Also, that was another multi-enemy boss fight, so if we lost to the Elden Beast after killing Radagon, we would have lost the Blasphemous Blade and had to start over. Good thing it wasn't even close. Hey, if you're 18 hours into a run, you might as well make it all remembrances, right? And after lighting some torches underground, we can use the Marika Hammer in a run. Twice, on the Big Moose. 1 hit, 2 hit, and then a crit. The Regal Cinema Spirit is really weak to holy damage. Did we have to level the hammer to +9? Nope. But it was kind of funny. For Placidusax, we gotta hit up the Cringefolk Hero's grave and trade our Devourer Scepter for the Come Onion Seal. Glad we killed Bernie at the beginning of the game for this hammer, definitely better than having him help with the Godskin duo. Get it to +9, put that in one hand and the Gravelstone Seal in the other. The Mimic tried to use Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, but we never did, so it didn't break on the Godskins. The Mimic broke. Does that make sense? I don't know, just give me a break. This has been a rough one. Giant Lightning is so good against the Giant Lightning Dragon. We just avoid lightning and make lightning. Sometimes we make lightning and take a bit of lightning. It flies away, but just does the breath and the roar? I'll take that for sure. It does try and start the teleport phase, but we get 1 more lightning strike off and oh, so close. Okay, guess it's living. That's fine. I know where it's gonna teleport. We can just drop a few more bolts. We're done. 2 more remembrances, and one of them is that lady who, I don't know her name. So I want some more power, and by that I mean I want someone more powerful to carry our ass kicking and screaming through the game. But for her, we gotta hit up the Moonlight Altar, which means we gotta hit the Baleful Shadow. Let's use the Vike Spear we didn't break because it was bad, and we leveled it up anyway. Yeah, the Ash of War is pretty bad here. It's decent as a great spear, but the Ash of War prevents the spear from being great. Imagine if you could put Black Flame Tornado or Ice Spear on this instead of graffiti with a giant target on your back. We even end up getting grabbed. God, I wish that were me. I mean, we win. Then we get the wedding ring, so we can cheat on our fiance with someone a bit more goth. The Black Knives aren't just employees for Ranni to kill her half-brother, they're like her family, and we know how Ranni treats her family. With a pizza party, baby! baby. The pizza wheel wasn't great against Malenia since they patched out the cheese. Pizza without cheese, what's the point? Electo can't bleed, so it's probably not great for her either, but it's still a big ass hammer. Big ass hammers are good. Why didn't I use giant unga bunga sticks earlier? Why was I trying to use dex weapons? What a fool I was. We got grabbed, but still turned her into a pizza pie and unlocked Black Knife Tucci. With a name like Tucci, she's gotta be Italian. Okay, I know I said I wasn't respeccing again, but what if I did like one more time? I can quit whenever I want, or whenever the game runs out of larval tears, whichever happens first. For this one, we have to look at a painting in the artist shack. Did you know if you use an AI generator, you could see the rest of this painting? And if you don't use an AI art generator, you could see a girl in real life. Larval tear, then respec for Morgott's sword. It's Malenia time. I wanted to try fighting her without rune arcs, but I did my math wrong when we respect, and we don't have enough mind to summon Tucci without it. My bad. The Morgott sword is amazing. Cursed Blood Slice explodes, just flattening her with fire damage, then Tucci flattens her. It's amazing. Malenia goes for the ducky dance, but it's pointed at Tucci, so we're totally fine. I wanted to save a bit of MP for phase 2, so we just kind of hit her with the big curved sword that's fast, heavy, and has innate bleed. Yeah, if there's a takeaway here, curved greatswords are dope. Phase 2 starts, but Tucci's dumb as bricks, just running in to die to the onion flower. The weapon art is still great. Fire damage is the best kind against Malenia. We got Rada diving into the second onion too early, then get hit with the Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Wild that we now live in a world where that's only the third worst Star Wars movie. Yikes. Next attempt, oh good, the Cursed Blood Slice just fucks her up. There's no other way to put it. We even avoid a waterfowl a little bit. I think this is what people mean when they say it's not that hard to dodge, but the reason we're dying in other runs is because we can't take any hits in those runs. Dodging 90% of the waterfowl dance still means taking a huge amount of damage. Phase 2 starts and we get in that paint. Tucci starts with a lot of health until she gets ducky danced, and that also heals Malenia a bunch. Oof. Another onion, we go in early, get rotted, then Star Wars Episode 2 again. That was familiar. Honestly, I think we just need more blue juice. More blue juice means more hot sword. I also swapped in some more Ash of War damage with the Alexander Shard instead of the Ritual Shield. Stance break right before phase 2 is unfortunate. It means she's not going to be close in phase 2. Same thing keeps happening though. We get into the onion a bit too early, avoid most of the ducky dance. Onion 2 comes out, we get rotted, die this time because of the rot. The obvious problem is the onion. If only there were a way we could punish that without getting punished by the onion. Enter volcano pots. I apparently grabbed the recipe earlier. They scale with strength and dexterity. We have a lot of dexterity and a decent amount of strength. They deal fire damage, meaning if we put on the fire boosting tier, it'll help with Blood Flame Slice and the volcano damage at the same time. Tucci leads with the blade beam, cutting off 10% of Malenia's max health, and then we get in with the cursed slice, and oh my god, sweetie, where's your health? We crit her, which doesn't push her into phase 2, because according to what I've been told, her health bar in phase 2 is not a new health bar. It's the same health bar, healed up. So if the crit could kill her here, it would push her below the 1 HP threshold that puts her into phase 2, and you just wouldn't have phase 2. I'd like that. Anyway, volcano pots do a ton of damage without us having to get rotted. A quick ducky dance, then a blood flame blade, and it's all ogre. Malenia is dead, and I'm officially recommending you check out Morgott's sword. It's cool. Time for
Falling with style.
Dropping down the sewer goes fine, but we take a questionable gravity death on the roots of the deep root depths. That killed me? Really? Okay. Fia's champs are next. They're a multi-enemy boss, so I get Malenia's roommate Finlay up to +9.
They seem to be very good friends.
It's Pride Month, so hopefully she could take out a few of the champions. The first one goes okay, but I'm kind of worried since she's killed one. If we lose Finlay. I kinda helped a bit with Rajir by poking him with the Cross Naginata. Then we've got the party of 3. I impale Lionel a few times, it works great. Finlay takes out the other one, and we finish off Pumpkinhead Jr. with the Bloody Shotel. Hey, we even get to keep the Banished Knight Halberd we leveled up. Guess I know what we're gonna use for Fortisax after running through the study hall and hugging Fia a bunch, of course. Seriously, the champion fight ends and it takes us 9 minutes just to get started against Fortisax. We have a Bloody Halberd and the Jarrite Puppet. I thought they'd be good at throwing stuff at the head, but it seems like they're kinda not. And I think they can be death blighted. That didn't happen though, instead we just get comboed. Believe it or not, having auto lighting that hits, expands on the water, and a lightning claw attack that also hit and expands on the water lets you chain combos together pretty dang well. So what if we just respec one more time?
Get some help.
Fine, we'll just aim for the head. It's kinda hard though, Fortisax is such a wiggly little worm. The third hit gets bleed, and yeah, we probably need less than 10 hits. Get in a few while it does the grounded fire breath, then it does a Dark Souls 2 fire breath in the air. Yeah, these combos are annoying. If you main Fortisax in the eventual FromSoft fighting game, you're dead to me, just like Fortisax is. At 20 hours, Jesus, in 23 minutes. 53 bosses and 75 deaths. Despite being by far the longest run, it's actually still a bit better than Link. The fact that we had to spend so much time running around grabbing weapons and upgrading them stopped us from dying quickly, but it was also slowest for average boss time. Honestly, I'd recommend this challenge, but amend it. Make the weapons break after a boss fight, not an enemy. Then you get to experience all the cool weapons you might not have used before without giving yourself a heart attack every time you have to fight the Godskins. If you want to watch these runs live, follow me on Twitch. We find new ways to play Elden Ring all the time. Join the Patreon if you want to support us with some money. It's where we get to keep the most of the money. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video.